actually experimenting with an iPad right now, so let me know how this comes in, if the audio is good or bad or video. Screen is definitely much bigger, much closer up than I anticipated. Anyways, this is just a Ask Tom episode. If you're new to my channel, I've been investing in real estate for, 41 years now, and made a lot of money. Own just about every kind of property most of you would ever consider. Apartments, houses, retail, commercial, industrial, flex properties. And I still own, quite a bit of that stuff. I have about 165,000 square feet of property, rentals, even more rentals. But anyways, I try to under-promise and over-deliver. I have a book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate, and I have a mentorship at FlipAnythingUSA.com, and urge you to check it out. If you're interested in real estate, you really should check it out. There's so many people I've encountered that have been ripped off by a fake guru at one time or another, and it's actually jaded them on getting more knowledge and learning more about real estate. It's really unfortunate. A lot of people think there's a silver bullet to making money, and they're really, a silver bullet meaning there's like a shortcut. The shortcut is knowledge, but knowledge doesn't come free. One of the examples I like to use right now is, look, I would love to be able to pick up the guitar and start playing the guitar. I'd like to, I wish I could sing, okay? And if I could pay $100,000 to sing, I just say, here, download me, give me the ability to sing. $100,000, download me the ability to play guitar. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And unfortunately, a lot of the fake gurus, they try to make it sound that simple. It's really disingenuous. And so, and you can see I've been around for a while on YouTube. I probably have the least amount of subscribers, but probably the most pertinent information. It's comment I get all the time. Why don't you have 1 million followers? It's because I don't stay on point. I'm not just focused on making money off of you, the viewer. I turn down people all the time for the mentorship. You actually have to show that you have some brains. Otherwise, I won't let you in. And it sounds pretty abrupt, but I'm a businessman. I don't have time to screw around. I don't enjoy beating around the bush. I don't like wasting time. I like being sensitive to people's feelings. I have a mentorship survey. When you go into Flip Anything USA, there's a mentorship survey. If you tell me that you only have $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, I'm probably going to tell you, don't get in the class. Almost 100% sure. I'm going to say, wait. I'm going to say, just save your money. But the vultures out there, they'll take your money. They don't care if you don't know shit. They will encourage you that you can do it with nothing, and then they'll put you in debt. And that's the worst thing. That's not going to be my legacy. I'm going to have a clean conscience when I die, that I did not take advantage of any students. Last thing I want to do, I have several millionaires already in my class. In a very short time, I say to people I have more testimonials than Grant Cardone and Chris Crone combined. I point those two guys out because I don't think they're good for investors. I don't think they can teach. I don't think they really know what they're doing. But they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. But what they sell, I don't think is of particularly good value to you. Because neither one of them have built an empire of money making and real estate on their own, buying real estate. Their real estate empire is really 90, from what I can tell, okay, I don't know their exact deal, but from what I gather, it looks like 99% of what they have is derived from getting other people's money to invest with them. In other words, Chris Crone focuses on single-family homes. That he doesn't say it in any of his videos. A little bit he does, but what he doesn't tell you, he proposes all kinds of things, how to make, whatever, $1,000, or what to do with $1,000, etc. But really, it looks like it's mostly about harvesting emails so that you can then be barraged daily with an email from him saying, do you have any equity in your home? Would you like to invest the equity in your home with me? And Grant Cardone, very similar, except he does it with multifamily, and he does it with a fund, where it looks like Chris just does it one-on-one with individual partnership. I'm telling you, it's a terrible deal for anybody out there that has any common sense. I can't even say that it's good for you if you don't have common sense, to be quite honest, because if you have enough money to put down on a property, you don't need either one of them. Now, Grant likes to point to $40 million apartment complexes and say, this is where the money's at. Well, knowing that you can't afford a $40 million complex. So what's your way in? Send your money to him, and he'll invest it for you, and then he will split those profits with you in some fashion. The problem is you could just buy a property 100 times smaller, and you could own it yourself. You could buy it yourself, and you would own it all. You would control it all. Because there's nothing worse than having somebody else in control of your money that you can't, when you need it, you can't get at it. That's a terrible feeling. I've never had it happen, to be honest, but I've seen other people certainly struggle with that. So what I teach you how to do is how to make money with your money. Anybody got any questions? I'm happy to answer any questions you got. Again, I'm here to promote my book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. You can get that on Amazon, Audible, or Kindle. I think I make $7 on that book. It's not something I get rich on or even care about that much, as far as it's a prerequisite for me to know if you're really interested in making money. But if you're not, then fine. Listen, there's a lot of the channels are out there for entertainment. You want to see what I had for lunch? I'm not interested. You want me to show you my food? I'm not going to do that. I might show you a food park. I own some trailer food park. The second phase of a food park, which is also an interesting thing for all you budding investors. But what I am all about, and what my legacy is going to be, is I want everybody to remember me fondly, that I helped you make money, that I showed you a path, and that's it. But I don't want I don't want a legacy of I got ripped off by Tom. I don't want that, and I don't have that. But I can't say that's true for a lot of the people that I talk about on YouTube. Now, there's other people, there's young guys, I think this is part of the problem. A lot of young people want to get into, they'd like to believe that you can make money like that when you're 20 years old. Now, look, there's some situations when you got a budding technology, I think Noah Kagan got in on that ride, right? He was a smart, bright guy, and fell into the group that created Facebook, and it sounds like he got a piece of that action and made a pile of money in a short time. Okay, that's like being Brad Pitt, right? That's kind of like you be an actor. You get not that he's an actor, but my point is. Most people in Hollywood aren't Brad Pitt, right? Most people in Hollywood are not the star. And when a YouTuber simply is a good personality making money off his likability, and then he converts that asset, the cash that comes in every month, he turns that, and then he buys real estate with it, that's fine. He's turned his money and bought it into real estate. But some of them will extrapolate their ownership of real estate as some sort of expertise in obtaining real estate, and it's ridiculous. It takes no talent to convert cash into real estate, or vice versa, to convert real estate into cash. The talent that you need, if assuming you're watching my channel for information, for education, is you should want to know from me and from anybody that professes to have expertise in making money, is how did you do it, and what do you have to show for it? You know what you're doing. This is what most people on YouTube cannot do. If like I said, I'm not going to pick on this one guy, but if you make $500,000 a month on YouTube, it's really not impressive that you bought real estate, right? It's really not that impressive that you can buy a piece of real estate. What's impressive is buying a piece of real estate when you have very modest means, and then turning that and making a profit, and then taking that profit and then doing the same thing, but maybe with a little bit bigger property, and you continue to scale. In other words, every time you turn a property, you have more money than you did before you bought it, and taking that, you compound it. That's what I've done. I've done that since I was 19 years old. I was fortunate enough that the first piece of property I bought was commercial property. And the reason I got the opportunity, I happened to, when I fell into it, there is an aspect of luck in making money in as much as, like right now, we're lucky we're living in the century we live in, right, where all the technology is. We get to enjoy the internet. I'd much rather live right now than 100 years ago, right? I don't want to live 100 years ago before air conditioning, okay, before, television and, all the things that we enjoy now, cell phones. I'd rather live in this century. So if you want to call that luck, there's that luck. What I'm talking about is you need a skill, a teachable skill, and that's what I give you. I show you how to make money in real estate, a teachable skill. So if you got any real estate questions you want to ask me about, I don't care what it is, apartments, houses, retail, industrial, I own all those kinds of property, and or I've owned and sold those properties, and I've realized millions of dollars of profit on all those types of properties. Bill says, my mentorship just expired, but I'm closing a deal end of September that has $1 million in equity, restaurant and RV. Hey, that's fantastic, Bill. I need to have you on. If I had anything to do with your success in the mentorship, I'd like to have you on, and we can talk about how that maybe helped, and then you'll inspire others. Christopher Miller, this is a good question, and it's not going to be the answer you're going to want to hear probably, but Christopher, what is the quickest way to learn values in my area? Well, it's kind of an easy one, and I'm not trying to embarrass you, but the quickest, easiest way is to investigate it, right? You've got all the tools available to you. You can see what's sold. You've got, you've got Zillow as a point of there is no, but looking at historical sales, seeing what things sold for, things that sit on the market for 30 days and sell. You get a number of those that have, been on the market and sold after 30 days. That's a reasonable figure to use. If you had, 4 or 5 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes that are, say, 1,600 square feet in a certain neighborhood that sold, you would be able to get an average value on what things are worth. But I'm talking about stuff that sat on the market for 30 days, because if a property's been exposed to the MLS for 30 days, that means just about everybody's seen it, right? Everybody's seen it. And so then the competition to buy it, if it was priced too high, the owners that have it up for sale for 30 days will have been beaten up long enough by asking too much that they're going to bring the price down, and then they'll accept it. And then there's also other people that price it too low, and then the property will get bid up to what the market will bear. That will give you the best point of reference at what that neighborhood is worth, based purely on what properties have sold for. That's why they have appraisers, and that's why they deal with comps. And when they say comps, they're talking about what lifetime properties have sold and for how much. So if you're looking for a different answer than that, if you're looking at the how, those are some of the things I teach in the mentorship go beyond that. And those are things that, that I keep private for the mentorship, because these people are paying me for that. And but you can get it, and you get my book. Also, you can get my book for, get that. Start with the book, Chris, if you don't already have the book. I actually think you don't have the book. Maybe you have the book. Maybe you haven't read it twice, but maybe you have the book. But you have to read it. And that's kind of what I say. There's no silver bullet. Some people, they think, having a direct conversation with me is going to shortcut them to success. It can help them. You make a hell of a lot better deal. There's no question. I can save you $1 million, and depending on your situation, or keep you from making a terrible mistake, or because based on my track record of success, but also my experience. I have a lot of experience. I've done a couple hundred deals, which would sound like a lot if I was 20 or 30, even 40. That would be a lot of deals. But I'm 60. Okay, so I've only been investing for 41 years. So you do the math on that, and I can be a math person, by the way. You need to be a math person. You need to do numbers. So when I say I've done 200 deals, just do the math. 40 into 200, 5 deals a year on average. Okay, so that isn't because some people say, I see a guy that he looks like he can barely shave, and he's saying, yeah, I've done 1,000 deals. Well, I know he's full of shit. And if he wasn't, he would talk more directly about the deals that he's done. When people say, and then they jump to, well, my team. Well, okay, you're taking credit for other people's work. Again, silly. But, okay, Daniel. Good morning, Tom. Jumping into your membership now. Even better news is that I'm getting my capital with Grant Cardone back after watching your guru video. Oh wow, Daniel, you'll have to explain that to me. That's interesting. I'd like to hear about that. Bill. So Daniel, I know your name. I know you're in the book. I know you're in there. Bill, I try to come on soon. If I get the link, my deal is a little different than typical ones, but I have a restaurant background. Yes, the mentorship helped me. Thanks, Bill. And Bill, so listen, this is the difference. You're going to see, I highlight the success of my students because that's what I know is inspirational. But for those of you to say, yeah, why is a multimillionaire going to share how he did it? Listen, I'll tell you why. Because I'm 60 years old and I got everything I've ever wanted. And to be honest, it feels very good when I see a guy that I help a little bit, and now suddenly he can pay cash for his kid's college that he couldn't do prior to meeting me. You know, that's one of the most commonality things the common thing between all the students once they start taking action and start making money with my help is they all have more money than they started with. In other words, they have more money in their hands after they make a deal than they've ever been able to save their whole life up until that point. And it's why it's such a no-brainer. You know, there's guys out there, believe me, I have guys that are quite brilliant, but they have no common sense. And I'm not talking about in the mentorship. So I won't even let those guys in. But I have some guys that they already make great money, but I can tell you, the guys that have common sense that get in my mentorship, that maybe aren't as, gifted in some ways as other people that I've talked to on the phone, my guys are going to make more money. Like me. I mean, I'm a common sense guy. What I know is information that is not commonly known. And the experience I have is one that you can't get. There's no silver bullet. I mean, I am your silver bullet as far as having a lifeline, somebody to call. Believe me, I'm a lifeline. You know how when you see those shows and they go, oh, you get one lifeline, you got to call one person. Well, I would be the person you'd want to call on a lot of different things to do with real estate, particularly negotiating, making deals, and you'll begin to smell rats in this business, and the things that'll make you worried. Oh, hey Richard, come back here. Write that comment. I was just finishing it. Richard Lloyd, come on back. And by the way, your book was great. First time anyone actually showed any real world process how to make offers and do deals. Yeah, thanks, Daniel. That's why I say I have a 72-hour money-back guarantee, because, and believe me, people jump into these mentorships, not mine, but others, and they all of a sudden they're like, oh shit, what did I do? I got nobody to talk to that knows what they're doing. I just got a stack of papers and videos to watch that aren't really helping me. And you got to have a mentor. Look, what do we all do in school? We have a teacher, right? We have a teacher. If they just threw you a stack of paper, you'd be lost. You wouldn't learn nearly as well as if you didn't have a teacher to answer questions. So that's the difference. And believe me, that's why I say, Grant Cardone, Chris Crone, they could never teach what in fact, I'll be honest with you, I think most of my students in a very short time will know more than both of those guys put together about real investing in real estate in a very diverse way. Because I don't see any diversity with any of those guys, to be honest. One's apartments, the other one's houses, one's multi-million dollar apartments, but both are using other people's money. Believe me, you don't take things as seriously. When you're investing other people's money, you got very little to lose, right? You're losing their money, not your money. And so you have everything to gain and nearly nothing to lose. And so, but when you are dealing like me with just my own money, it makes a world of difference. Nobody cares about you like you. Don't think for a second anybody cares about you overall. Just assume nobody does. You have to take time to care for yourself. You have to take time to look out for yourself and make those great decisions that will affect you. Noelia Tuck. Just started your book last night, Tom. My vision is expanded every time listening. Currently I have 7 rentals and I've assigned a few deals. We're about to get our hands on 100,000 capital. What's next? Wow, that's fantastic, Noelia. Are you in the mentorship, Noelia? Because if you just made 100 grand, that would be a natural progression if the book helped you. And then, you know what I mean? Get in the mentorship and do it today. Don't waste any time. Have I done any deals on hotels? No, I haven't. Listen, if I was going to buy a hotel, I would probably buy it and convert it into something else. I might convert it into houses. I mean, not houses. I might convert it into condos and rent the condos out. I actually saw something done that I was pretty impressed with. it was kind of a defunct, I think it was a Holiday Inn, and that guy bought that, and this is long before, there's a shitload of hotels for sale right now because the pandemic wiped so many of them out. But this is long before that. But there's a guy, he's pretty active real estate investor too. He's got some good experience too. But he bought one, and I believe what he did is he converted them to business suites. So basically he just took a hotel, a pretty good size, maybe at least 100 rooms roughly, and he turned it into, it was just like this, it was like an office. It was like you could have an office away from home. I think they were selling for about $80,000 a piece. It's pretty brilliant because I don't think he paid more than $30-$40 a door. $30,000-$40,000 a door, sold them for about $80,000 a door, or that's what they were for sale. I didn't have an interest in buying an individual property, but I did take notice of what he did. And so that's the other thing is, you get to learn from my observations. And believe me, I don't give everything out on YouTube. I can't, but there's a ton here. You can look. I've already had people that have made $1 million just off watching YouTube and watching the book. But I'm telling you, if you've got the money, I mean, if you can attribute to already making several thousand or tens of thousands or 100 grand or whatever from what you've learned from me, then take a little piece of that and jump into the mentorship. I mean, this is the kind of common sense that some people lack, but that's okay. Also, have you done any deals on hotels? Anyways, yeah, that's my experience. I have not done deals on hotels, but if I was going to buy a hotel, because I don't want a business. I don't want a business. I don't want to be relying on other people. And that's what a business is. And believe me, I've owned companies, but again, with companies, it comes a lot of work and headaches. And I'll tell you what's really cool. And this should be really inspiring to you guys that are budding investors that are already starting to make deals. And like I say, my channel's called FlipAnything, right? And even though I 100% pretty much focus on real estate, I do qualify you also to tell you younger guys, especially guys that aren't even 18, listen, you can flip anything, Like I say, you hear people talking about flipping couches and things like, hey, that's real. Anything you can buy used. Here's the number one thing you should come away with. Anything that you can buy used has the potential of being 100% paid for. And what is the potential of a piece of furniture or tools or property that's 100% paid for? It means it can be sold for anywhere between 99% below market or, zero below market. And it's that delta that you're playing with. Good day, Tom. Do you have a strategy for the current downturn? Are you fixing and flipping or fixing and renting, or is it all just situational? It's a good question, Richard. And Richard's a smart guy, has a very good channel, and yeah. So it's situational. So look, because I buy based on what current value. I buy based on current value, and let me see something. I buy based on current value. So if something's worth $300,000 a day, and a year ago it was worth $500,000, I'm basing my purchase on the $300,000, and for the same reason like Christopher was asking, because I'm always looking at what the market values are in a certain area, and I pick certain areas that I focus on. Then what I do is I start to focus on those areas. And like, let me give you an example too. If I'm looking at houses, I might study a couple of subdivisions. If I'm looking at, maybe kind of a special property, maybe it could be a retail, it could be industrial, then I might be looking at an entire zip code. There's other properties. If I was looking for, a triple net, like a triple A company, with very little risk and strong, then I might be looking at the whole USA. I could be buying up Kentucky Fried Chickens or stuff like that I feel good about. But of course, I'm going to get a lower return, but I'm going to have much less hassle to deal with in buying those kinds of properties. So, hey, by the way, if you just got here, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. A lot of you longtime viewers, just so you know, it always helps me, even if you jump in and just say, hey, I watched the thing to the end, or I enjoy your stuff, give me a comment like that. It's always helpful to the channel. I'm trying to attract more people. I'm trying to get more smart people. The numbers don't matter to me. I always say the masses are the asses, and I believe that actually proves out in my own numbers on YouTube subscribers. I have about 20% of what I probably should have. or could have, or maybe, but it's because the masses are the asses. Believe me, people come in and they're hoping for a silver bullet. They want to hear that, oh yeah, buy some Bitcoin and you'll be rich, or you know what I mean. They want to believe it's easy. And then you look at my, you know, and you're a do-it-yourself guy, Richard, but you know, me too. I do all kinds of stuff. I've been a carpenter, and you know, and I'm handy with my hands, and you know, a lot of times the reason I don't use my hands is because I have so much shit to do at one time that all I can do is be a supervisor and jump from job to job to job and make sure that other people are doing their jobs, and even that can be exhausting. But you know, one of the things I was going to mention earlier, and I mag dump. Hang on 1 second. I'll get to you. But what I was going to say is this is really cool. I already have. I had one of my most successful mentees. He says he's already asking himself, when is it enough? When is it enough? Okay, he's already made a few $1 million, and he's already starting to rethink life, and like, you know, he's got enough. He can retire. He's already got more than he thought he ever expected to have in such a short time from real estate. And you know, and then sometimes he thinks, I'm going to go till I get a jet, you know, and it's all fun. It's all fun. It's a good problem, right? But those are the kinds of problems I want you to have. You know what I mean? You know, in all honesty, I wished I loved cars more than I do. I've really never cared much for cars. I mean, I like a decent car. I like comfort, and I like speed and all that sort of thing. But I'm like Manny Koshman, you know, I you know, he loves them, I guess. And maybe it's something he does for whatever reason. But the thing is, I don't love them. But how nice that if you did love cars, you can do what Manny Koshman does, right? I'm sitting here looking at, you know what I want more than anything? What I want more than anything right now is I want an FJ80 Land Cruiser. I'd like a 19, and I already know, I've had some of the viewers have sent me some recommendations and some links, and I appreciate it. I'll look at it. If anybody sees one, that's a great deal. But I'm trying to find one that's not necessarily available on the internet, or you know, anyways, applying some of my own methods towards real estate, towards buying one of those. But anyways, yeah, I'm looking for a vehicle that I'd pay anywhere from $30,000 to $70,000 for. In fact, I just missed one that was, and we're talking about a vehicle that's 24 years old, and or 25 years old. But that's what I want, and I mean, it's not a high dollar vehicle. I mean, it is for what it is, you know. Like I say, I missed one that was 70 grand or 77,000. And it only had 5,000 miles on it. That would be cool. That's what I'd like to have sitting in the background behind me. Which you guys are going to see my new man cave here before long. Studio. So mag dump. How does one start in real estate investing, making $50K a year? It's hard to get the amount needed to start investing. Yeah, start with the book, buddy. Just start with the book. So look, just short example. And some of you, I apologize. I know you've heard this before, but it's something you don't want to forget. Anyways, so it doesn't hurt. Listen, me telling you the same thing several times over a year is good stuff. It keeps you on point. Even I read my own book so that I stay focused in the ways that I know that I should. Because when I wrote the book, I really took it in. I'm not a fluff guy. There's no fluff. I just kind of get to the point. Now, there's a bunch on top of that just comes from actually doing deals and all the experiences I've had and different, you know, there's things I've done only once that are super valuable to somebody that runs into it, that's fortunate enough to know me, that's in the mentorship, that I can walk them through. Because even just being through it once, I can save a lot of hassle, a lot of drama, a lot of money. And, but, I'm starting to forget where I was going. But, oh yeah, so look, you're only making $50K a year. How much cash do you have in the bank, Mag? How much cash do you have in the bank? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. But again, you make $50,000 a year. How much money have you been able to save? Look, even if you have zero, you can still make money. But if you have zero money in the bank, I'm not going to let you in the mentorship. I'm just not going to do it. You know, I don't want to take your last $2,000. I just don't. I won't do it. You know, but there's plenty of people that will. There's plenty of people that take your money. In fact, you know what they want to do? When you go to a seminar, by the way, when you go to a seminar, do you know what? These assholes, they don't care how much money you have in the bank. They care how much money you have available on your credit card. These guys are absolutely fucking sinister. It makes me sick. Anyways. Bill says live-in flip is a good one for income, with low income, no taxes after 2 years. Yeah, it's not a bad way. You know, it's not what I would exactly recommend, Bill, but that, it doesn't hurt. You got to live somewhere. If you can, live where you buy, not a bad deal. You got to pay, rent or something to somebody. But in the end, I didn't, listen, I flipped 5 houses, and it was like the 5th or 6th house that I bought that I actually lived in. The other ones, fuck, no way. I didn't want to live in them. There's no reason. There's just they weren't appealing. But guess what? They were profitable. You got to look at everything as a tool to make money. It's just a tool to make money. So that's why a lot of times I talk about houses. I don't have to show you a picture of the house. I can describe the house. I can tell you the house. It's a box with a roof on it. That's what it is. But hey, anyways, yeah, it's a good starting point. Like I said, Richard, it's not a bad place to start because you got to live somewhere. And the other thing, the other considerations too. You have other considerations to consider too, and what I'm referring to is sometimes you have kids. You got to be in a safe neighborhood, those kinds of things, right? You want your kids to be able to, have friends down the street and that sort of thing. So there's different things that come into play with, how important it is to have a home. It'd be terrible to raise your kids in a rented home and then all of a sudden, the house is worth far more than you can afford, and the rent goes up. The people say, we'd rather have $500K than $2,000 a month rent, because it's no longer a viably good asset to them because the return is so low. And then you're kicked out. You don't have enough money in the bank to buy it from. If you wanted to, you couldn't afford the payment because that's why they're selling it. Is that the return on the investment is poor. So those things come into there. Noel, yeah, I would urge you to get in the mentorship. Just get in the mentorship. All that stuff is already kind of in the book, anyways. But and this is one thing you'll find in my class. You have to read the book. I know when people haven't studied. I know when people and nobody. That's the beauty of the mentorship is, I don't let real basic questions slide. I'm not interested. It's boring to the rest of the class. You have to do the work. You have to read the book. You have to understand what's in there, because my class is about getting better and better and better and better at what you do. I can't drag the class down with a noob question when I already have a very comprehensive course that'll bring you up to speed pretty quickly, and that I have hundreds of hours of Q&A that are very specific to a lot of stuff. I mean, believe me, if I put all that stuff in a book, it'd be this thick. Shit, I wouldn't read it. It's too much to take in. But to be quite honest, it's nothing to listen to. That's the other thing, is the fact that you can take in the information while you're driving. You can put it on fast play. I like to listen to things twice speed. I have I don't want to say I have ADD, but the bottom line is I just get bored as shit if I'm not interested. It has to be interesting. Unfortunately, I love real estate and I love making money. I can smell money, and I say I can smell it, meaning if somebody's onto something, somebody's bright, it gets my attention. Hey, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If there's any fake guru people that you're interested in discerning or looking at, I'm happy to go take a look at those kinds of people. People wonder, I call it thick as thieves. There's a lot of YouTube backslappers that offer the same crap. It's very nothing there, and so they slap each other on the back because they're in the same business, taking money from you. I'm not in that business. I'm not here to make friends with with other people that are selling stuff. I'm actually more of a competitor, right? I don't want anybody to get screwed and buy some garbage course, cost you $5,000-$10,000, and now you're set behind. I told this example the other day. I had 2 people. Here's a guy bought a Grant Cardone mentorship or something. That's something from Grant for $7,500. Super disappointed. I guess he got to have dinner or something with Grant, and he said the guy was a total prick. And and like I said, I don't think he's lying, but he had a bad experience. And listen, I caught my first impression of Grant Cardone was terrible. I thought he was a total idiot. What I realized is maybe I caught a glimpse of a guy at his worst. Now, that's not fair to say, right? We've all had a fit. We've all been angry. We've all done stupid shit. But I caught a glimpse of him at his worst at a point when he had 3,200 investors. And boy, if that doesn't tell you the story about who you're investing with and the stability of the person that you're throwing in money with, I mean, there's not a bigger caution sign you could have than seeing that, calling people, paraphrasing, you guys know the video I think I'm talking about. Go watch my pandemic video, Freudian slip. It's near the end. It really says a lot. And the other one, this is another guy. He again, I talk to everybody that I sell a course to, because I don't want you in there. I won't take any dipshits, and I'm just telling you. If I think you're a dipshit, I'm going to politely push you away. If you don't have any money in the bank, I'm going to just kind of politely say, listen, let's wait till you get some cash, Because listen, you should be able to save. You should be able to work hard somewhere and save money. If you don't have that discipline, then I don't even want you in the class, to be honest, because you're going to be destined to failure. I had a guy that one of the things that spurred me from even doing this money back guarantee thing is I had a guy that had plenty of money in the bank to get in, but he's like, but I've done this and I'm pretty good at this and I'm really doing good at my sales at this. He was jumping all over the place. So he's looking for a get-rich-quick scheme, which is okay. It's, he's looking for the money. I appreciate trying to find a more profitable way to, to operate. But in the end, I was thinking, man, you're one of the guys that could do so well because you already made money. You've already showed that you got a good work ethic, but you've also demonstrated to me that you don't have any patience, and you probably don't have the ability to see something through because you keep looking somewhere else instead of looking what's in front of you. And so that's why I'm going to tell you, Noelia, and just read that book. You're doing the right thing. You're already making some money, but listen, it's fundamentals. Stick to the fundamentals, and this is why it's so important. But I can tell you right now, that guy, I'm not even sure I'd let him in the class now, only because I don't know that he'll do so well. Even though he's got money, he's smart and bright, I don't know that he's got the discipline to do what you need to do. And so that's where I'm going to leave that. Hey, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel. Throw some thumbs up on there, and also comment under the video. Once in a while, it's funny. I'll have somebody come in and make some stupid statement, and of course, I love to fight. To be quite honest, I love to fight, and anyways, sometimes you get a dipshit in there, and they actually make my point. The stupidity of their comment says so much about them or the attitude of that particular kind of person. So I enjoy it. I mean, I enjoy everything. So, okay, Tom. Okay, this is an interesting question. Yeah, Alamos. Yeah, there's no reason you shouldn't get that. In fact, okay. I'll direct you, Emoji. You're looking for the bonus chapter. By the way, after you buy the book, show me that you bought the book, and I'll send you a bonus chapter. Okay, so Will wrote, Tom, if you could hop in a time machine and were an 18-year-old cabinet maker starting out again, where in the USA would you start building your empire? Anywhere in the USA. Anywhere. Doesn't matter. But if you were talking about a geographic location, I'd probably start in Northern California, only because I worked there as a kid. A super beautiful country and a lot of beautiful girls. And but you've got beautiful girls everywhere. But the thing is, that country was beautiful. And by the way, Northern California, that's where they first discovered gold. California, that was California Gold Rush. Sutter's Mill. And by the way, that's a great story. Maybe we get into that story sometime. A guy came out there looking for a place to put a sawmill, and he goes into the American River, and he was just there to figure out where to put a mill, where they could, water could turn the fins that would turn the saw, that would cut the wood, and they could float the wood down, milled or otherwise. I don't know exactly how the sawmill industry worked back then, but what he did was what he did do is he looked down and he found gold. The gold was just sitting there. Streams generally go to the lowest point of a piece of property. That's why water runs downhill, right? Collects at the bottom. Well, usually it drags and erodes until it hits bedrock. And once it hits bedrock, there's no dirt. It's just bedrock. you know, and I mean, there's some rocks and debris, you've seen the round rocks. You move the rocks away, a lot of times there's not even hardly any sand, there's just bedrock. Well, guess what's sitting on bedrock? Gold. And that's what he found. He found the gold. But you know what he didn't? He didn't keep his mouth shut. And that's one of the reasons I tell you guys in my class, loose lips sink ships. The information, that's why I don't give as much information away as I used to. I give you a ton. There's plenty of information, videos that I've already given. But you'll see I've already removed, I think, 800 videos because I thought, you know what, this is too much to give away for free. It's no longer fair to the people that pay me for the expertise. So I took a lot of stuff off my site that was, I thought, yeah, you know what, I'm going to save that for the people in the class. But what I was going to say is, you know, he found the gold, but he didn't know the right thing to do. And he ended up dying broke. And a lot of people, guess what? The people that came in and made the most money off the gold rush, which would kind of almost would be the equivalent of the fake gurus today, they sold shovels, okay? They sold shovels. And, you know, where, you know, somebody smarter might just kind of figure out where the gold's going to deposit. That's would have been me. Let's figure out where the gold, if the gold's deposited in here, let's think of some others that are kind of natural, you know, sluices, for lack of a better term, sluices, a way of pulling the gold, right? If you ever seen a sluice, if you can imagine, just imagine a trough, a long trough that water runs through, and there's a ladder in it with fins like this, like you know, like tines that you walk on. And what happens is that's what the gold does. Gold's heavy. It's the heaviest, densest, you know, rock, I think, next to platinum. And so once it travels and it breaks, and if it breaks off other pieces of rock, it just goes to the bottom, and it doesn't flow with the water. The rocks and everything else will go, but the gold will settle to the bottom. And, you know, I'll tell you, it was a wonderful thing. And this is one of the ways I used to get gold out of the American River. Take a turkey baster, shove a straw up a turkey baster, okay? So that it was about 2 inches or 3 inches into the turkey baster. So imagine a turkey baster, but now it's got a straw sticking out, but it doesn't just go to the tip, it goes in a ways. And you move all them boulders out of the way, get down to the bedrock, wave your hand, take away the sand that's left. There's black sand, which is iron ore. That blows away, and then you're looking at gold. And then you can take that turkey baster and just suck it up. It goes up through the straw, and it falls in, but it's still captured within the baster. And again, and guess what? That really is kind of analogous to how I teach you how to make money in real estate. I just try to shortcut you how I can, but you know, you still need a map to where the claim is. Right? You got to find the claim, and then you got to be really careful. Make sure nobody claim jumps you, because you're going to get claim jumped if you share too much information. That's why I teach everybody else to be very cryptic about your wins and your deals. All right, Dinternet. Hey Tom, it's David, one of your mentees. Do you have any tips on acquiring contractors? Yep, David. Oh, I recognize that logo. So David, listen, this is something I share with, of course, anybody. You got to have, listen, I'm a builder. I know how to do just about everything when it comes to construction, okay? I can't do everything perfectly. I'm not a specialist at tile, but I can lay tile and I can do a great job. I'm just not going to do it as fast. You know, I can mud, I can tape, I can float, I can texture, but I'm not going to be as good or fast as somebody that does it all the time. There's guys that can tape and float so well that they almost don't even need to touch it with a piece of sand, sand when they're done. That's talent. But back to the point, David, if you're in the trades like I was, you very quickly identify who's good and who's not, because the guys that are good, you'll see repeatedly on the same jobs. In other words, they do their job and they do it complete, and that's why they got the second job from the same builder. And so you start to run, and you might work for 30 builders, and you might see a handful of the same guys on different jobs. So there's several people that are good at what they do, but it's broke up between 30, 40, hundreds of builders. So you'll know who's good by who stays working. But second to that is you can see the result of their work. You can talk to the builder that they've done work for, but you gotta have, if you don't know what you're doing, right? In other words, if you don't have a good eye, if you don't know what's crooked, if you can't identify when tile is laid well or not, and you don't have to be a tile guy to understand that, then you really have to kind of look at the work, and you also have to go get references. In other words, don't hire anybody that doesn't have references. But of course, the other safeguard is never pay anybody in advance. You can pay somebody something when they start the job. You've got to hire somebody. You can pay them when they start the job, but even they have to have references no matter what. Don't hire anybody just because they say, "Oh yeah, I'm a good guy," or they have a great personality, or they sound like they know what they're doing. Listen, there's people that sound like they know what they're doing, and they rob people. You know, one of the most heartbreaking things I ever heard was this guy took a second on his house to dig his pool. They dug a big hole in the backyard, and that was it. Disappeared. And they paid for almost the whole pool. And so his kids are sitting there looking in the backyard at a giant, pile of mud and a hole and a big giant mud puddle, and with no hope of having that swimming pool that Daddy was going to provide for him. And the guy was long gone. They didn't do their due diligence. They didn't check for references, and they gave money to somebody they shouldn't have given money to. Listen, you never give money in advance. There's never any reason to pay in advance. And now that guy's sitting with a mortgage, second mortgage, on a mud puddle. Terrible. Yeah, Mobiz, do you have my book? So look, there's some questions I'm just going to tell you, just get my book, because I can't answer the same questions a thousand times. But I will answer this one. Get my book. There's too much good information around that question, buddy. Just get my book. Spend $10, $20, whatever. You can be reading on Kindle. You can go read the first few chapters for free. Go to Amazon.com. Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate, and start reading the book for free. And then if you like it, just buy it. And if you don't, then it's probably not for you. Hey, I'm going to go, everyone. So listen, please hit that notifications button. Hit that subscribe button. Look, I'm 61, or I'm 60. I'm going to be 61. That'll be the next one. But, I'm healthy. I'm going to be mentoring for a while. I want to make a bunch of millionaires before I die. I've already made a bunch. I want to make, I'd like to make more than anybody. And as far as I know, maybe I already have. When I say make, I mean I helped. I helped them to figure it out. That's what I want to do. And if you want to be a part of that, you could not be a part of a better group. And I have a money-back satisfaction guarantee if you're unhappy. But the fact is, like the best quote I got from one of my students is, it's like being fed information from a fire hose. So I know you won't be disappointed, and I know you do well. And the thing is a fake guru can't do it. Even if everything I gave you was just put on a piece of paper, it wouldn't work for you. You got to have the ability to have a teacher. You got to have somebody that you can talk to. And every Saturday I do these mentorship things, where I'm live, just like this. Except there's a bunch of squares of all these people from all over the country, all with the same goal. And you get to watch these people, make their first deal, and have some of the questions you have about, oh, should or I shouldn't I, then they do, and then they get it tied up, and then they buy it, and then they close it, and they sell it, and then they make a pile of money. And skip your vacation and just get the mentorship. There you go. Just get the mentor, get it. No, I'm kidding. Anyways, do what you want to do. I don't care. But if you got a passion for real estate, certainly go investigate FlipAnythingUSA.com. Compare me to anybody out there. Some people call mentorship, you calling up and talking to a $15 an hour kid that doesn't know shit except how to answer the phone and point you to a chapter. That ain't mentorship, folks. But anyways, as usual, I appreciate y'all. Again, like, subscribe, comment, helps the channel. Watch the other videos, and I'm sure you'll do well. See you.